Hi, hello. Once again, I welcome you all for BKMC. In this video, we are going to deal with SN reaction part 3. Already, we have seen two videos on SN reaction. The first part contains reaction mechanism, stereochemistry and kinetics, and the second part contains reaction influence factors, that is a substrate effect and a living group effect and nucleophilic effect. In this video, we are going to deal with solvent effect and SNI mechanism. In solvent effect, we are going to look at which kind of solvent will favor for SN1 mechanism and which kind of solvent will favor for SN2 mechanism. In SN1 mechanism, we know it is a two-step process. First step is formation of carbocation, which is a very slow and rate determining step. The second one is nucleophilic attack step. The first step involves only with that non-polar substrate. So for non-polar substrate, we need to take polar solvent, because in solvent, if we take both a non-polar solvent and non-polar substrate, or else polar solvent with polar substrate, that solvation effect will occur. That is a negatively charged substrate will be surrounded by that positively charged solvent and positively charged substrate will be surrounded by the negatively charged portion of our solvent molecules, so which will arrest each other, which will not allow to interact each other to form a product. So in the same way, if you take a non-polar substrate with a non-polar solvent, this similar kind of solvation effect will occur, that substrate will be surrounded by that solvent molecule, which will not allow to meet with the nucleophile to interact that nucleophilic substitution reaction. So for non-polar substrate, we need to take polar solvent. So SN1 mechanism will be favored by protic polar solvent. Example, H2O is the polar protic solvent, and formic acid, acetic acid kind of things. Protic solvent will favor SN1 mechanism. If we see that relative rate of that reaction, in 100% ethanol reaction is one time. If we take the same reaction in 100% water, it increases 1200 times faster than in 100% ethanol. If you look at this increasing polarity of a solvent from 20% water, it increases rate into 10 times. If you increase the polarity of water into 50%, it increases 60 times. If we increase the water percentage into 80, then reaction proceeds 400 times faster than in 100% ethanol. If we proceed the reaction with 100% water, the reaction rate becomes 1200 times faster than 100% ethanol. So SN1 mechanism favored by protic polar solvent. In the other side, SN2 mechanism contains both negatively charged nucleophile and a neutral substrate. For this, we need to choose a solvent which will not disturb the neutral substrate as well as negatively charged anion. So that solvent can has to catch only that positively charged cation, that is corresponding salt of our nucleophile. So for that requirement, we can have DMSO, acetone and DMF kind of solvent, that is polar aprotic solvent. Solvent must be polar because the substrate is non-polar. If you take non-polar solvent, again the substrate will be surrounded by solvent molecule. And again, if you take polar protic solvent, the substrate will not be affected by solvent, but the nucleophile will be affected by solvent, like this surrounding effect. So we need to choose a solvent which will not disturb the negatively charged nucleophile. It has to catch only positively charged cation. So if we take a polar aprotic solvent like DMSO, if we see here the DMSO structure, the oxygen projected outwards, which contains a delta negative charge, which will surround the which will surround the cation, corresponding cation of our nucleophile, potassium, sodium kind of salt. So that positive charge will be hidden by that molecule within that methyl moiety. So here that methyl positive charge is not projected outwards, so the nucleophile will be freely moving in the solvent system, and substrate by default it will not be surrounded by that polar solvent. So if you take this kind of solvent, that nucleophile will not be disturbed by solvent system, and substrate also will not be disturbed by the solvent system. Both can interact each other to form a SN reaction. So this is a DMSO structure, dimethyl sulfoxide. If you have carbon in place of sulfur, it will become a acetone. So DMSO, acetone, DMF, dimethyl formamide. This kind of solvent will be favored for SN2 mechanism. So the substrate and solvent will have to in opposite way. If we take a polar solvent, a polar substrate, solvent must be non-polar. If we take non-polar substrate, then solvent must be polar. So that's it in solvent effect. Then we will move to SNI mechanism. SNI mechanism means internal nucleophilic substitution reaction. Till now we have seen that nucleophile attacks from external. In this reaction, nucleophile will attack from internal portion of molecules. The best reagent for SNI reaction is thionyl chloride. Wherever you find the thionyl chloride in SN reaction, you can consider it belongs to SNI mechanism. The first step, that alcohol reacts with thionyl chloride to form alkyl halide. Already we have seen that alcohol is not a better leaving group. To convert this poor leaving group into better leaving group, we have three type of method. The first one is concentrated acid method, that will produce a carbocation which will undergo carbocation rearrangement, then followed by nucleophilic attack. The second one is alkyl tosylate and alkyl mesylate, that also will undergo for carbocation formation, then it will undergo for rearrangements. So the third one is PBr3 kind of things. So in PBr3 kind of thing, the backside SN2 attack happens. If starting material is active, that product will become inverted molecules. So in SOCl2, this thionyl chloride will produce without rearrangement the same side retained configuration product. So we'll look at the mechanism first. The first step is formation of chlorosulfide. That here, that first step, oxygen lone pair electron will behave as a nucleophile and sulfur act as an electrophilic center. That nucleophilic oxygen attacks electrophilic carbon, then double bond shifts to oxygen minus. That oxygen minus charge again comes back to sulfur, then removes its own chlorine atom. So this kind of intermediate forms, the HCl removes. After removal of HCl, it forms chlorosulfide intermediate. It is not actually intermediate; it is a transition state. So this transition state again undergo rapid bond formation with the carbon electrophilic carbon center. Simultaneously, oxygen leaves and the chlorine attacks the same carbon. So this kind of cyclic transition state produces retained geometry, alkyl halide, and removal of SO2 molecule. So this is the final product, alcohol to alkyl halide from thionyl chloride. That is the alkyl chloride with retained geometry. So that transition state is a non-polar one. So non-polar transition state will be favored by polar solvent. The first step is formation of chlorosulfate is a slow step and rate determinant step. The first step, both alcohol and thionyl chloride involved, so it is a bimolecular reaction. Though it is a bimolecular reaction, it is favorable in a polar solvent, and then it produces retained geometry molecules. So in the presence of pyridine molecule, the same chlorosulfate intermediate dissociates into inverted molecules, because most of the people using pyridine as a base to capture that removal of HCl gas. That HCl gas will be captured by pyridine moiety, that will produce pyridinium chloride ion. So in the presence of pyridine acts as a nucleophilic base. That nucleophilic base attacks the electrophilic sulfur center, which removes chlorine, and it forms a different kind of transition state. So here there will be no chlorine to attack internally to the carbon center. So that the external chlorine will attack that as usually SN2 attack. So SN2 attack will produce a inverted geometry. So in the presence of pyridine, it produces inverted geometry. In the absence of pyridine, it produces a retained geometry. But in the absence of pyridine, it will produce HCl gas, which is harmful for environment. So to arrest the formation of HCl, we are adding pyridine in the system. Pyridine captures that HCl gas, but it inverts the molecule geometry. So, and also if you use coordinating solvent like this kind of oxygen coordinating solvent, again it interferes that reaction mechanism. That chlorosulfate intermediate will be attacked by solvent from backside. So it will dissociate into oxygen bonded carbon. Again the second step, that chlorine attacks, again that second time SN2 attack, it gives a retained geometry. So here it is not a SNI reaction, it is just 2 times SN2 attack. The first step nucleophile is a solvent, the second time nucleophile is as usual chloride. So if we take coordinating solvent, it produces retained geometry. If we take non-coordinating solvent and without pyridine, it gives again retained geometry. If we take pyridine in the reaction mixture, it produces inverted geometry. So we need to keep this thing in our mind in SN1 SNI mechanism. In plain SNI mechanism, it produces a retained geometry. In the presence of pyridine, it produces inverted geometry. In the presence of coordinating solvent, it produces a retained geometry, but in the presence of coordinating solvent, it is not a SNI reaction, it is just 2 times the SN2 reaction. That's it. For example, S1 for SNI mechanism example, S isomer to S isomer. If you take alcohol with thionyl chloride, it produces retained geometry. S isomer to S isomer, optical active one. So converting more alcohol into better leaving group, we are using concentrated acid method, and the second one is a tosylation formation. So both gives a carbocation and rearrangement product. And third method is a PCl3 method. That PCl3 method produces without rearrangement but inverted geometry, S isomer to R isomer. So if we take thionyl chloride with the pyridine, it again produces a inverted geometry, S isomer to R isomer.